All right, so today our topic is creating these work instructions, right? That kind of tell a story, particularly the table of contents kind of work instruction, right? Where we have a whole bunch of really great information built into our Composer document. And this is kind of an extension of our first Composer webinar that we had this month. It was just on SVGs. And this is how we're going to create a multi-document SVG with a table of contents sort of interface. So we expect to see all these different views populate as we kind of click along. I'll give you an example of this on the website too. So, all these views have already been created, and essentially what we're going to do is create a master view that helps us navigate to each one of these individual subassemblies, right? And so, in what I've done here, and I don't know if you picked up on it or not, but if I had, you notice that this is the subassembly of like this master left and right half portion, right? So this balloon 1, sprayer assembly 1. Its subassembly gets broken down into this, right? So we can see it here. And then notice how this is colored, right? And that's because it's its own subassembly. So when I click on that, I want to be able to then navigate to its subassembly and so on. And then there's no more color here, kind of signifying that, hey, there's there's no more levels, no more tiers. This is the lowest tier, right? It's the farthest down in the assembly chain, essentially. And so each one of these kind of has that same sort of metric. So if you look at it at an explode view, then this one has two subassemblies kind of deeper. There's one for these three components and one for these three components. So that's just a mental organization that I've done, right? But let's go ahead and build that master view now. So I'm looking for something like this, right? That contains everything, and that shows all of our components kind of as they're disassembled. So I'm going to snag this view, and I'm going to store it kind of down here. Bill of materials is kind of optional, I think, at this point. So we will kind of just we'll just hide that for now, actually. And we're going to go ahead and grab all these components and do a restore to neutral position on these. So kind of assuming that you've used Composer before on this, but if you see what you like, we can definitely set up like a demo or something to help you navigate these things. So hide those, hide that, and then hide these balloons. We'll hide our home button too, and that way we just have our sprayer assembly. Okay, so this is looking pretty cool. So now I'm gonna snag this view again, and this is gonna be like our table of contents view. I might actually leave a little bit of space over here on the left-hand side, just to kind of get it, get some organization going on. So we have view 14, we're on our way, but the idea is that I wanna be able to navigate to each one of these subassembly views that I've created in our previous steps, the ones we kind of walked through, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information, right, and the hotkey here to copy this view onto an interactive page of another view is to use Control, Drag, and Drop. So when you Control, Drag, and Drop a view, rather than just like dragging and dropping a view, it just takes you to that view. You get a little thumbnail of that view on now view 14. So it's now view 14. If I hit the update button, right, to go to 14, hit update, you're going to see I have a little thumbnail, right? And I'm going to do that for all of the important subassemblies. So that one might not work as well. We're gonna jump straight to this guy here. So we're going to Control, Drag, and Drop. There's one, and then there's the. We'll link that later, but here's another subassembly that we want to link to on this main page. We're gonna do this one, but skip the next two because the storytelling, I suppose, of the subassembly assembly work instructions is the next level down, so we won't worry about those. We're just grabbing the top level stuff here. So we'll grab this guy, kind of throw it in. And last but not least, we'll do the, oops, got one too many here. Drag and drop. Okay, so I'm not too worried about the spacing just yet, and that's because I'm totally going to cheat here and use this magnetic line. This is a funny story. You know, SolidWorks actually stole this from Composer. It was in Composer well before it was in SolidWorks, and it's always been kind of like one of those really handy tools. But you can see I've snapped the magnet line to the right-hand side of each one of these photos here, and then I could just equal space these out. If I wanted it to take up a little bit more room, I can just drag the top and the bottom to kind of get it to fit really nice. There, that looks pretty good. All right, so so these tell the story. This is like the table of contents. If this is the main objective, right, then this is like the table of contents of how to take this thing apart, put it back together, your assembly instructions, your work instructions, etc., right? So let me check something here. I'm checking chat. Any questions so far? Okay, looks like we're pretty good. So now the idea here is to go into play mode in Composer and kind of navigate these waters. So I'm going to update this view. You can see all the previews kind of show up in there, which is really cool. And then on the lower action bar in Composer, there's the design mode on and design mode off. So hopefully you're able to see that. I'm going to try to zoom in just so you all can see. It's in the lower right hand side, and it's got like the little the angle here. And if you click it, you're off design mode, and you click it on, you're on design mode. So you can see even that the magnet line goes away when I'm not in design mode. That's because it's part of the design mode. So this is kind of emulating player, if you will. All right, now the idea here is that when I click on one of these widgets, right, it takes me to that subassembly. And then if I go back, now the back button has to be linked to now view 14, right? But the idea is that this is your table of contents, and you're sorting all of these complex views, and like this is a relatively simple part, right? I mean, it's got maybe 50 parts to it, but I've seen some really awesome Composer documents that have hundreds of parts and hundreds of views, and it can be overwhelming to someone who doesn't know how to navigate Composer. But when you structure it like this, right, the table of contents view, it makes a whole lot of sense. So likewise, if I click now on any one of these other kind of little thumbnails, right, it's going to take me to that explode view of that thumbnail. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to fix this back button, because I think the back button takes me all the way back to that original view. Oh, excuse me. Wow, I could not mute fast enough. I apologize. Snuck up on me like that. Yeah, so that back button, we need to relink so that I can go back to my table of contents, right? So, in fact, we might just want to make a new view. Nah, we'll just relink it, right? So, I'm going to go back to my view 3. I'm going to go back into design mode, and I'm going to grab this go back button, and I'm going to create a new link. You can see it's linked to actually a website, which is something you can totally do. But here what I'm going to link is to a view. Where is view? Ah, there it is. And then I'm going to link to view 14, which is the one we all created together, right? If I remember, view 14 was the one. And that's, yep, view 14, so that's good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this update that I've done and pass it along to all the other views. So I have this actor selected. Remember, this actor got updated to link to view 14, right? So this is selected. And I'm going to select the other views that I want this go back button to be updated in, right? So here's the clicks, right? So you click on the thing you want updated across multiple views. Then you're going to control click the views that are important or relative to that update. So that's going to be pretty much all of these. I know we didn't use them all, but we're going to, right? So I've got them all selected. And then now you right click and say update views with selected actors. So instead of having to manually go through and click all the go back buttons, then click the link and then click change and then click update and click link, change, update and all that jazz. You can just do it all at once, right? And that's this little shortcut here. So I'll do it one more time because I think I did that a little bit fast. You click on the go back button because this is the thing we edited. Then you control click all the views that you want that update to apply to. And then you right click, update views with selected actors. You can shift click too. Just control click allows you to skip views. Shift click would select the matrix of views, right? Just like Windows. So update views with selected actors. It's going to run its thing. Now that go back button should be a link to view 14. We see that there. Now if I click on another view, like view 4, that go back button should also be a link to view 14. Nice. So it totally worked. So it took it from a web address to a go back button, right? To the go back to 14. So now let's test this one more time. We're going to go back into player mode. We're going to find our table of contents view. Oh no, I updated that one on accident. I think I had it on control click. Let's see if I can bring it back. Control Z is your friend sometimes. If not, we'll just recreate it real quick. It's like no big deal. Okay, so Control Z worked. Haha. We are validating the functionality of Control Z. I like it. Totally worked, right? All right. Yes. All right, so one more time. Let's just make sure I have this. We'll just test this view 14. We don't have to do the replace actors again, but I just want to make sure that we're all tracking and it's all making sense. So we'll go back into design mode, click on go back, change that to view again. And it's just the ebb and flow is what I'm trying to capture here, right? Yep, I totally know what I did. I just left that, I control clicked this before, which is a bummer, but it happens. It happens to the best of us, right? Sure, it's happened to you. So let's test this table of contents functionality again, right? Table of contents. So I'm out of design mode. Here's our widget. We can put our company logo in the upper left-hand corner. We can put the name of the widget down here, right, which is some text. And then as an operator or as a repair manual or as a repair specialist or a service specialist or a on the shop floor specialist, they're like, okay, what do I need to look at? I need to look at how to take apart, you know, the housing. And then, okay, now I'm done taking apart the housing, let's go back. And the go back is going to lead us back to the table of contents so that now I can go to the next widget here, right? And then figure out what I need to order and so on, right? Now, ideally, right, when you get this all nailed down, and I'm still checking chat for questions, so chime away. Ideally, when you got this all nailed down correctly, it might look something like this. All right, so here's a really cool example, and you guys can all go here now. This is all made with Composer, SolidWorks Composer. And remember, it can be published many different ways. So here's a quick little video, and this is also really great if you're trying to justify or encourage your company to buy Composer. This is like a really great visual for your company. It's like, hey, here's what we can do with this. This is a really cool tool. It doesn't have to be just published to the web either. It can be published via Word or PowerPoint or whatever. So I guess we'll get to that in a second. But here's a quick little video on how you can navigate a digital parts manual. And then you can click through parts and then click down. And then once you find the part that needs to be replaced, you can click and add to cart. And then proceed to checkout and all that. So all I'll do is I'll go ahead and paste this. Oops. I'll go ahead and paste this in chat so you guys can check it out too if you like. Oops. all panelists and attendees. There we go. So there's that link in chat. So what I would encourage you to do is just try this out. This is how we can create that digital content in Composer, right? And we can put it on the web. So you go from home, which is kind of like just that nice little video, right? And then you go to product. And this is the idea with the table of contents page, right? This is the things that you can do with this. I'm giving you guys ideas. I'm giving you guys the seed, and you guys grow it on your own part, right? You guys let it blossom. But the idea is that you can click through each one of these, click through, and then now you have your explode. Now you can click on this thing. It's like, oh, I need to add this to cart, and so you click on it and click add to cart, and then you check out. View cart. Now I got 2 of them in the cart, and then click checkout, and then purchase it, right? Or not purchase it, and then show the assembly instructions, right? Now the reason why I published all this to the web is because it's easy for me to show this to anyone, right? Because everyone has a mobile device and everyone has a computer, and we can click on things, right? So it's easy. But keep in mind, this could live on your network, right? This could just be SVG files on your network. This could be a Word document with links. This could be HTML, right? That's also just saved somewhere on your network. It could be a Word. It could be a publisher document. Pretty much whatever sort of publishing that you use, you can build in some of this interactivity. But specifically with SVG, right? Because that's going to be the breadwinner here. So in order to save this out as an SVG file, right? These are mapped right now to views, right? So when I click on this, it brings me to another view. That means that view has to live somewhere else online, right? So this view has to be a page online already, right? But this is, the table of contents can work either way, right? You can either work with SVGs or it can just link to another view. But let's go ahead and make a quick SVG out of this, right? Just so you can see how you might put this on the web. So we're going to go to our workshops, and again, this is really complementary to the original or the first webinar that we did on SVGs. Goes through and explains everything. If you'd like the video on that, you can post in chat that you'd like it, and I can send you the link for it, or you could just in the feedback and results, you could also ask for that information too. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to technical illustration. This is our SVG options. We can choose line colors and shadows. That kind of shows or doesn't show what we want to see on the screen. So if I just leave it with shadows and I do a quick preview, or lines and shadows, you're just going to see the silhouette mode of everything, right? We'll give it a second here to save. Aha, and so here it is. And so if we build in links to these, right, so these don't, when I hover over these things, these all have links. These all have links, and so these are hotspots, right, because it'll take me somewhere. In fact, if I click on this, I'm using, that one might be an old one. If I click on this guy, oh, that one doesn't have a link either. Aha, there we go. This might take me to a SVG page, right? Then this actually takes me to the page that I created online just for fun. But what we want to do is we can put links in on these things too. So we're going to make this a little bit interactive here, where you guys have to chime in, right? So I need some responses, because we're going to try creating this SVG again, and we're going to put links on these views, right? So I need some URLs, appropriate URLs, right? I'll do the first one. So I'm gonna click on this link here, or click on this icon, and instead of it linking to another view, I'm gonna say I want it to link to a oops, wrong one here. Let me see, I gotta go down further. I want it to link to GoEngineer, right? So I'm gonna type in HTTP and then www.goengineer.com. All right, so now I need some more from you all. Anyone want to chime in and give me a couple links here? Again, we got 4 more to make, so I need 4 links. So this is where response is required. Ducati. All right, I like it. Someone's a motorcycle fan. Wish I had one of those. Okay, so HTTP, and then we'll type in Ducati.com and click OK. All right, so now we have this next one. Who's got the next URL for us? Anyone? Silent as the grave. Okay, since so many of you guys were from Texas, let's see if, like, is Texas DMV a thing? I mean, it's got to be, but is it www.dmv.texas.gov? This is what, maybe it's just TX. We'll see if that works. I don't know. I'm just going off the cuff here because everyone loves the DMV, right? Okay, yeah, we got another one. Nice. Store. Copy. Oh, this is the Wagner Spray Tech. I think this is the actual thing. Someone's clever. Very nice. Okay, so we'll go ahead and update the web address with that. Let's see if that works. Nice, totally worked. One more, guys. One more. I need one person to jump on in. Lowe's. Okay, nice. Thanks, Nicole. Okay, Lowe's.com. Click OK. And I think we're done. So I just got to update this view. And these should all work. Okay, so we're going to throw this on the web too. Like, why not, right? So I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. We're going to call this webinar test. It's going to save it out, and then we're going to open it. And all your guys' links will work, hopefully, on deck. While this is thinking here, I am going to launch the website. So this is log into that real quick. And this is done saving. All right, and this is what our SVG that we all made together looks like, right? So here's the GoEngineer.com, here's the Ducati.com, here's dmv.tx.gov. I don't even know if that's going to work, but we tried. Oh, cool, totally worked. Got lucky. And then here's the Lowe's.com. Nice, that worked too. And so let's put this on the web so you guys can all browse to it. So this right now, this is just living on my desktop, right? And so what I want to do is bring that to, sorry, my desktop's a little, I don't know why my application closed, but we're going to run with it. We're going to open this up in Notepad. This is what that SVG document looks like in HTML. So this is all just HTML coding. And again, the key theme here is that you can do this all with Composer, right? That is the theme, right? That we can do this with Composer, and it's super simple, and you guys saw me do it right now. So we're going to create a page on the website. We're going to add a new page, and we're going to call this WT for webinar test. So WT, and then we're going to add an element here that's going to read HTML. Now I'm not an expert at this, but I'm sure there's someone at your company that is. And I'm going to paste that HTML right from SVG into the content reader. Click Save, and then click Publish. All right, so the web page that we just created together should be www.wp or swwebcomposerdesign.com/WT. And there it is. Oh, it looks like I updated it too fast. So the idea here is that you guys can all go here as well, and you can click on these links. The thumbnails aren't showing up, but you can actually go to GoEngineer.com if you click on this link, right? And you can go to Lowe's.com. And then you can go to, you know, the next. I think someone put the sprayer painter in there. It says, oh, it's Store Wagner. This one's not showing up for whatever reason. But you get the idea. So in the chat, you can see the link. We did it all together. We threw something online. The idea here was that we tell our story with Composer, kind of using this table of contents sort of outlook, taking all these views, streamlining them, right? Instead of someone having to navigate views and not knowing where to navigate or which one's the correct one or which one's just a reference view or whatnot, right? You create a table of contents view. You click on the one that's pertinent to your disassembly method, and then your user is kind of navigated through like a DVD menu. Remember like DVD menus back in the day, right? We're kind of creating a chapter selection, right? A guided tour, right, of your product. And then we talked about links real quick and SVGs and why they're so cool and why they're so important. And then how we can publish this on the line and online, and how we might tell that story, right? So it was a lot really fast, but I think it was pretty comprehensive, right? And so if you were a veteran Composer user, right, then you probably picked up on most of this. And if you were someone who's maybe newer to Composer, it'll be probably something you have to watch again on the recording. But if you are also newer, I would also like to extend a mentoring session for anyone who feels like they need a refresher, right? And so if you would like a mentoring session, just go ahead and put that in chat or in your feedback, or you can email me at ahughes@goengineer.com, and I posted that in chat too. So if you would like a refresher on Composer, maybe some of this went over your comfort level, let's have a quick conversation about it. Let's brush up your Composer skills and see what we can do. So with that, it's going to wrap up this webinar. This is Adam Hughes with GoEngineer. Thanks for watching.